Yes, she is. You know what they call a male Karen. I just found this out. Ken and Karen. So, today, we are going to be talking about Ken and Karen and 10 fragrances that are guaranteed to make them go crazy. They'll be telling you how you're killing them, making their asthma act up. They'll be running to the supervisors and complaining on you left and right. Now, here's the thing. This needs an explanation. If somebody said to me, hey, I am allergic to this, this, and this, that's fine. I'm not a jerk. I guess that depends who you ask. But I got a lot of fragrances. We'll find another one. But this is those people that will not be happy while you are not miserable. That's what we're talking about here. So, do with this what you will. If you want to use this to go out and set the world on fire and use it for evil, to harass the Karens in your life, then go for it. Or if you want to make sure that you don't get on any supervisor's list, avoid these. This actually is going to be in order to. There's a hierarchy here from 10 to 1, 10 being the least, 1 being the most. You understand? 10. From the house of Armov. This is Club de Nuit Intense. It's good, right? Cap. This particular fragrance is on this list purely because of the abuse that it gets. This being so good. Aventus Cologne. I think one of the funniest parts about doing that Fragrantica award thing was somebody put Aventus down. It won top 5 fragrances that women love on men, and someone put in the comments, that's how you know that this survey is bullshiz. Because women don't like Aventus. It was not made to attract women. And it might not repulse them, but it's just not made for that. But the reason why this is on here and not Aventus is because this performs and projects way better than Aventus, and people get this much more than Aventus. This, even the Parfum, $50 compared to 200 Aventus. Karen's not gonna like it. You walking in there smelling different. She can smell you smoky, rich citrus, pineapple. Gonna set her off thinking that you smelling good, enjoying your life. And that's another reason for this next one. This next one is another clone from Lattafa, in here for a very similar reason. And this is Confidential. And this is a clone of Tatsiana Terenzi. This one doesn't tap too well though. They have this real heavy chrome plastic over. Doesn't make great noises. And this is similar to Oud Gold, but is not as sweet and bright, but is still a very sweet, sugary citrus balm. And the reason why Karen's not gonna like it, because this is happy. Karen doesn't want anyone to be happy. Ken don't want anybody to be happy. And I think the proof of that, again, is that Fragrantica survey that people said Oud Gold, one of the most hated fragrances. I was blown away. That cloyingly sweet just kills people, especially ones that are miserable. And that's this Confidential Lattafa. This next one, I might join them on this one, man. This next one, number 7, is going to be one that is incredibly dated, and at one point was one of the most expensive worn fragrances. $300. Middle Eastern house before it was a thing, before it was popular. And this is from the house of Bijan, and it's very simply Bijan Man. Another one that's a little bit difficult to tap, but I can try. And the reason why people don't like this, Karen is not gonna like this fragrance. This has almost 100 notes. It's insane. Spice, aromatic, monster. Back in the day when you could charge $300 for a 2.4 ounce eau de toilette. Those days, thank goodness, are gone. Fragrances have gotten a lot better, but I still see shades and shadows of Bijan in a lot of fragrances, namely latent exclusive shadows. Next, we have from Lattafa, an original. They had is very strong, very bitter. And you would think bitter, well, Karen and Ken, they're bitter. Perhaps they will like it. It's not how it works. Two bitter things never like each other. So, any strong, bitter, rose-based fragrances are going to be offensive, and perhaps I should have said this before, but this is a list of Karens and Kens, but this is comprised of 10 fragrances that are very divisive, and then not everyone's gonna like. So this is Ramz Gold. I think that I could have put on here Toy Boy by Mosquito, Atomic Rose as well. But trying to feature some fragrances you all haven't seen that much on here. And honestly, I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. 5, or should I say, I guess 6, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, now we're on 6. Our first big boy, first ticket, big ticket item. This fragrance is one of the most loved and one of the most hated fragrances out there. And this is from Tom Ford. It's Tobacco Vanille. This fragrance, as many people like it, two, for one person likes it, 2 people hate it. I mean, that's the ratio. These bottles are so small, I don't know if I can tap. Strong performance, vanilla and tobacco. Very divisive scent profile. And I think what makes this so divisive is just the fact it's unapologetic. It not only performs, it projects, it kills, and you are probably never gonna see more Karens come forth than when we are in Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanilla, it's very simple, but it's done as a powerhouse in this bottle. And Daniel Craig, when playing James Bond, reportedly was asked to stop bathing in this because the people on the set couldn't take it anymore. They just couldn't take it. And I'm assuming not all of them were Karens. I'm assuming there's some reasonable people there. Next, number 5. This again is another fragrance that I think a couple people would join this crusade. And I'm going to introduce the fragrance and then introduce kind of what we're talking about. it's primarily worn in Middle Eastern fragrances, and Mason Francis brought it here with this, but I reckon to say most people don't know about Oud until the Middle Eastern fragrances got here. It has the tendency to smell very foul on skin. It smells very sweet on my skin, but some people's body chemistry does not like Oud. And people who don't like Oud hate it, and they think it smells like dog poop or wet dog. And a lot of fragrances use it in the base, but a full frontal fragrance like this, yeah, a lot of people are gonna be jumping on the bandwagon with Karen on that one, thinking that you smell like high-priced dog poop. Next, we have a fragrance that, I'll admit it, I didn't care for it that much when I tried it. You have frag heads, people who get into this community stay. The taste change. I didn't like this when I tried it because it is a divisive scent that takes some warming up to honestly get used to it. And it is Tom Ford Ombré Leather. This still takes some getting used to. It has kind of a leather logo. It's kind of cool. is the definition of care. Coincidentally, my physician always says what is on her mind, and I was wearing this. Oh, that's nice, huh? And I hear her saying, stop, stops in her tracks. And she goes, what is that smell? And I know it was me. I'm the only one wearing fragrance there. And I was like, here we go. And she goes, now, in her opposition, she said maybe, but she said, that smells great. And I was like, it smells what? You know, of all things, I expected her to say that. Great. I wasn't one of them. But then she goes, I think I like it. She also kind of said, I think I don't, right? But that shocked me. You never know with fragrances like red tobacco, man. Some people gonna love, some people don't. She probably either smoked or her husband used tobacco, or her parents or some, maybe some fondness for tobacco. But it could go either way. It's definitely none of these office fragrances, none of them. Number two is another fragrance that should surprise absolutely nobody. And this is a clone of a fragrance called Oud Maracuja by Dua. This is passion fruit oud. A $350 fragrance that uses oud and leather. What could go wrong? Now, this to me smells like new shoes. It smells like a furniture warehouse. Oud is strong. Leather's strong. Comes off a little bit more like a suede than a leather, but I digress. And then just a touch of sweetness and fruitiness, and I like it. But I'm harsh on it because this fragrance, you're not gonna have that red tobacco where you're rolling the dice. You might have some Karens jump up and say, wham bam, thank you ma'am, that is great. Some Karens say, oh, this is not gonna solicit any positive reaction from them Karens or Kens. It's strong. It is offensive. The definition of offensive. I'm a fragrance lover. I love the reinvention of the wheel. I love uniqueness. And this has this all day, every day. But Karens don't like that, man. I would say number one's gonna surprise you on this list. Number one's gonna floor you, but if not for number one, this would be number one on my list of fragrances to never wear around anybody ever. You wear this for the boss, and it does not matter if people like the way you smell. You wear this outside. This is a surefire date ruiner. In fact, I kid you not, I have had my dates ruined by several of these fragrances. Tobacco Vanille being one, and Ombré Leather being another. Date ruined. Date says, I don't know what you put on, but you better find a way Surefire win, fellas. Surefire win. So number 2, Oud Maracuja. And they even have, I think even Lattafa coming out, Oud Maracuja Cologne. I'm just like, bro. I don't know when I could wear it. I really don't. Number one. And this is gonna shock y'all. Because on paper, you'd be like, who could hate this fragrance? Karen, this fragrance. I built this list off of my experiences, man, and this fragrance has cost today the worst and the most Karen interactions that I have had. Now, luckily, I've never been in a position where Karens have had any power over me whatsoever. I'm a violinist at orchestra, and like other musicians, non-violinists, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sit down, flute, sit down. Claire was a clarinetist, and I'm saying, man, I don't know how you fit that many people in that building, and they gotta remove the doors to get in just so all the musicians' heads can fit through the door. I mean, they're unbearable people. And I was sitting there, minding my own business like I always do, talking with the other string players. She turned around and she goes, I don't mean to offend you. And right then and there I was like, then don't. She was talking to me like someone kidnapped her family, and they were like, unless you speak your mind and insult this man, they ain't coming home. I'm just like, you don't have to insult me. Why do you don't have to say anything. Don't say anything. I don't mean to insult you, then don't. And she goes, your fragrance. She made the. She goes, I got asthma, and it's just too much. And I was like, I handle conflict quite well. Let me tell you, I handle conflict very well. I don't get upset. There's no point getting upset. This is what I do. I say, okay. And then I spray twice as much the next time I saw her. That's what I do. Because she's full of it. It's not her. Are you kidding me? She's out there playing the clarinet, complaining about how my fragrances are messing with her asthma. How do you function in this world if me, 20 feet away from you, is causing your asthma to flow? You're full of it, man. And that's where that distinction comes in. I talked about the beginning. If it was a real thing, fine, but that was her way of being miserable and wanting me to be miserable with her. And this is the fragrance. This is the fragrance I was wearing, which is another reason I'm like, you're full of it, and this is it. This Khamrah Qahwa, the most mass appealing unisex fragrance on the market. So much so, it was voted best unisex fragrance 2024. And that was another reason I was like, yeah, you're full of it. You are full of it, Karen. Because it was this. This is shades of angel share with a bit of a coffee note in it. Rich, luxurious, boozy, gourmand, mass appealing, spicy, incredible fragrance. There's nothing in here that would send your asthma allergies running or anything, man. This is just an